Ladies and gentlemen, today marks 15 years since the attack on the Polish state on April 10, 2010 in Russia, when the plane with the Polish president on board was blown to the ground by a series of explosions. To this day, we have not extracted from the Russian mud either all the remains of the victims of the assassination or all the debris of the plane. To this day, we have not extracted from the Russian mud the remains of our country that crashed as a result of the coup. To this day, Donald Tusk hugs Vladimir Putin while President Lech Kaczynski lies a few dozen meters away in the Russian mud. How this is possible? I'm not asking the gangsters who had their fingers in this crime. I'm asking those from whom we expected to secure our country from the gangsters. I'm asking all of us gathered here, how is it possible? After the killing of the Polish president and people key to our sovereignty, Donald Tusk and Bronisław Komorowski subordinated Polish interests to Putin's Russia. To this day, we have not punished those guilty of this crime. Not only that, we have never removed from their positions those who, at very least, put the President of the Republic of Poland to death. The consequences of this are being felt today with great force. A subordinate of Donald Tusk, Marian Janicki, took away the due protection of the President of the Republic of Poland on the day of his death. Could there be a greater fault of the person responsible for the security of the head of the state? How can it be that he is not in jail? Donald Tusk's role, the coup itself, was not investigated in depth. He was not punished for sabotaging Poland's interest in the deal with Vladimir Putin and for ordering the Russian lying version of events to be repeated, but by his subordinate services. The impunity of Tusk and his team is another crime. This time, a crime of omission, of endangering the security of the Polish state. This is an accusation of honest people who were in power for 8 years. How it is possible? Is there any reflection of this matter? Not heard. The strength of evil is directly proportional to the weakness of good, the passivity of honest people. And evil today is pushing forward with great force, which after all was predictable. We stand in solidarity with the courageous part of judges and prosecutors who today are sounding the alarm about the progressive assault on the state system and documenting the crimes of Donald Tusk and Adam Bodnar. Today, when there is an illegal coup in the sphere of the state system, a violation of the rule of law at every turn, this is the result of the crime of omission. This rape of the rule of law began much earlier, from the impunity of Donald Tusk, the impunity of Marian Janicki, Jerzy Miller, and others. Impunity is exuberant, and innocent, repressed and tortured people pay for it. Ms. Ania Wójcik, Urszula Dubejko, Karolina Kucharska, Father Michał Olszewski, Deputy Dariusz Matecki, Ms. Barbara Skrzypek, who died a few dozen hours after interrogation in prosecutor office by Ewa Wrzosek. Free media are being liquidated. Television stations, independent of the Tusk regime, are being attempted to have their license revoked. We are witnessing a kind of operation on society. Bolshevik operation. Tusk's assault on the country's legal system, the dismantling of the rule of law, was predicted by a mass shouting the word constitution and calls to obey the law. Yes, indeed, this is the essence of this Bolshevik operation to which we are subjected. The party that won the last election, which is not in power because the losers formed the coalition, has been stripped of its subsidies. Tusk's long arm paid money to his party, but blocked political opponents from owning funds. Competing candidates in the upcoming presidential election is not subject to fair play. It is as Trzaskowski, Tusk's candidate, stood in the ring after financial doping and Nawrocki's hands were tied. We believe that despite the uneven fight and Trzaskowski's obnoxious acceptance of unfair playing field conditions, which should be called a setup against the circumstances, Karol Nawrocki will win. That Poland will prevail and the system will not close, because after that people would have already began to disappear. Andrzej Wernic at Krakowskie Przedmieście in 2010 said, "This is not a dispute about the plane or even about the causes of the crash. It is a dispute about values, what Poland will be and whether it will be." As Solidarni 2010 Association, we stand up to fight for the Polish state. We call on everyone. A free, sovereign Poland, if it is to survive, needs your action. All of you, as you are here and who hear this. Thank you for your attention.